It's Jeff and Jeremy in the morning.
We got Phillip Tran joining us. His company is eatbangers.com. And Jeff, you kind of ran across this. Now, we've been playing bangers on the radio station for a long time, but it's a new rule or institution, Phillip, that we don't play those slow ballad classic rock songs in the morning. We only play stuff that bangs.
Because
and so when we found banger chips, we were all about it.
Yeah, because if you're not playing stuff that bangers, you're just gonna go back to sleep. So then I walk into Extra Mile down the street. I don't know, it's probably about 3-4 weeks ago, and there's a big display and it's got bangers. And I was like, huh, that's funny. Bangers. We do bangers in the morning too. And I didn't think anything of it. And then I take a long look at it and I see that they're caffeinated potato chips. How did you run across this brilliant stroke of genius? My two favorite things, potato chips and caffeine.
No, you hit it spot on, Jeff. So the true story about bangers at the end of the day is, so once upon a time ago, I was a college student, was born and raised in Los Angeles, California. And then I told my folks like, hey, I love you guys, but there are 49 other states that I want to explore. Unfortunately, but now that I think about it, fortunately, it worked out. Ended up going to Stanford for my undergrad and master's. And then it started off when I was a student at the end of the day, right? So as a college student working on homework, studying for midterms, studying for exams, like it's tough. It's high pressure. And what I kind of noticed amongst like my peers is that, hey, whenever we went to like the local bodega or whenever we went to like the dining hall, my colleagues and I always had two things in common. We always grabbed a bag of salty snacks in one hand, but at the same time, we always had some sort of like energy beverage on our left. So that could be a coffee, that could be a tea, that could be an energy drink. So that's really where the idea kind of like chefed up at the end of the day, because if you think about the whole consumer packaged goods space, right? CPG, pretty much, it's pretty much predominantly controlled by one guy, which is PepsiCo, which owns Frito-Lay, which owns a bunch of beverage companies, which owns a bunch of salty snack companies. And then me being a Gen Z rebel, I really want to take on that Goliath at the end of the day. So it started off when I was a student at Stanford. I was like, hey, there has to be a more efficient way than carrying both items in one hand. So that's really where the idea really started. Started cooking it in my van. not really the most ideal situation, but at the same time, it got the bubbles like bubbling a little bit, right? Because at the end of the day, I had access to my target customers, which was basically college students at the time. So chefed it up, did some R&D, and it clicked. And then when I was graduating, right, I was in a situation where I was like, hey, I have two paths. It's either continue this and try to scale it, or let me get some experience in the workforce before revisiting this. So I took the dark path.
Good for you.
I took the dark path, ended up going on Wall Street. And then even then at Wall Street, the exact same pattern, right? You saw young professionals that always had their coffee in the morning, but at the same time, they always needed to snack on something on their desk, right? So it hits again. So not only did this work for college students, this also works for young professionals. And then as I dug more and more into it, right, at the end of the day, like caffeine is basically embedded into everything that we consume, right? So you have the traditional energy drinks, you have coffee, you have for my generation, we love boba, and boba is a deviation of tea at the end of the day. But even soda has caffeine, or even chocolate, right? So caffeine is basically embedded into like a lot of stuff that we do. But there's no caffeinated potato chip company out there. So that's really where the entrepreneurial spirit.
You're on the cutting edge, because I've never seen a snack that's got caffeine in it. I mean, even chew pouches now, guys that do the nicotine pouches, right. I've noticed that a lot of them, the new marketing is caffeine.
They put caffeine in them as well?
Yeah, they put caffeine in the pouch and they put it in between their lip and their. And
there was that. Yeah, actually, some baseball players. We're down in San Luis Obispo, and some baseball players at Cal Poly. After they were done with their college, they kind of took the same path that you took with the bangers, and they did. It's called grinds, and it's for guys that they're baseball players, so they're tobacco chewers, or they were surrounded by a lot of tobacco chewers, and they're like, hey, this is a healthier alternative that will give you the kick that you need from a caffeine standpoint. I just think it's what I was telling Jeremy earlier, and you sent us a bunch, and we're going to get to what we're going to do with a bunch of these bags of bangers. And you do have two different varieties. You have a high octane variety for caffeine, and then talk a little bit about the less caffeinated one.
No, exactly. So you hit it spot on, Jeff. So we have two variants. It's a little confusing, but I'll try to explain this as clearly as possible. So technically we have four. So we have four products. That's the fact. So we have four products, but we have two flavors. So we have barbecue and we have paradise.
Both of them are fire, by the way. They're awesome. They're
Awesome.
Great
Appreciate
chips.
it. I can send you more if you want.
a little dangerous. At the end of the day, if you know what I mean.
No, exactly. Like 100%. But hitting it spot on, right? So we have four products, but two flavors, each of which has a, like you said, high octane version. So that has about 200 milligrams of caffeine. Exactly.
200 milligrams right there.
200 milligrams of caffeine, which honestly, it's not that crazy if you think about it. It's at par to traditional energy drinks that are on the market. But at the same time, for folks like my mother, I love my mother, but she can't take 200 milligrams. So we have a slightly caffeinated version, which is the regular chips. So that has about the same caffeine content as like a pop, kind of like what I was referring to. Like soda has caffeine in it anyway.
Oh, okay. Sure.
So we have two variations of that on the market.
Okay. So I was dragging. I had like 3 hours of sleep, and we do our thing until about noon every day, and I still had a bunch of stuff that I had to do, and I was getting ready to eat lunch, and you'd sent these the day before, and I broke open into the box, and I took away from some of the inventory of people that we want to give it to our listeners, and I had it with my.
How many bags did you eat, Jeff? Because he loves barbecue.
I got to be honest, and your barbecue flavoring is like I consider myself a connoisseur of potato chips, like especially barbecue potato chips, and your barbecue flavoring is the best out there, which is why I say they're dangerous, especially if I'm eating the high octane, because if I'm eating the 200 milligrams, because I could go through one bag and be like, man, I want some more, and then go get another bag of chips, because but it was great. It was perfect because I'm eating lunch and I'm like, I got to have something to go with my sandwich. And I didn't bring anything that had caffeine in it. And then there's these ones sitting right there with caffeine. And I was like, I'm going to go for those because I'm dragging today. By 1 o'clock, I was fine. I was like more energy. It did what it's supposed to do. And it tasted good too, which was great. And so you have barbecue and you have paradise, which explain paradise for people.
So paradise is more of a sweet Maui type of flavor. So just imagine like comparable products on the market. You get a slight oniony taste, but at the same time, don't let that distract you, because we have so much other flavor that's in there. We have sweeteners that we put in there. We have natural sugars. We have all that stuff to kind of like elude that taste. So barbecue and paradise are kind of interesting if you think about it, because they're two completely different flavor profiles, which is good, right? So that kind of breeds out the amount of people that consumes our products.
Are you guys gonna do other things, or is it just gonna be barbecue and paradise? The flavors of both of them totally hit. I mean, they're amazing. They're favorite chips right now.
No, you hit it spot on, Jeff. Because at the end of the day, right, how we kind of think about it as a startup, and especially a team being ran by Gen Zers, is that we like to move fast. And I know that's kind of broad and arbitrary, but what I mean by move fast, just to give you a sense of scale, right? So we were technically incorporated in 2024. We sold our first bag in Q1 of 2025. Fast forward to Q2, the end of Q2, beginning of Q3. Fast forward to like August of 2025. We're in north of like 2,000 stores in about 2/3 of the country. So we move fast.
I know you're in all the extra miles, and
Right.
there's like 1,100 of those across the country, and then so you're adding more now because
Exactly.
when I looked it up, initially it said, "Oh, it's exclusively only an extra mile," and I was like, "Oh, well, that's good because there's one down the street." And they've got a nice little display there and all that stuff. So what happens from time to time is like yesterday, Jeremy played Stone Temple Pilots, and you think, okay, Stone Temple Pilots are going to bang, right? Like there's a fast, upbeat 90s alternative rock, in your face, all that stuff. But they have one song. It's called Big Empty, and it is big and it is empty. It's 5.5 minutes long, and it drags. And it slipped through the cracks, and people were calling us out on it. They're like, "Hey, that's not a banger. That's not a banger." So it happens from time to time. And I'm sitting on a box, and I don't know. I'm afraid I'll tear through the box before we get a chance to give them away. But anybody who texts us in on the 805 Beer text lines at 805-543-3693, and we don't play a banger, you get your choice of whatever the flavor is, whatever we have available in that big, beautiful box that you sent to us. If you want the low octane, we'll give you the low octane. If you want the high octane, we'll give you the high octane, just so you could try these chips, because not only do they keep you going, they are very tasty. And it's exciting to talk to you literally as you've been selling your first bags of potato chips, because I have a feeling like you are on the precipice of very, very big things. And I just want to say thank you for taking that chance and getting off of Wall Street and getting into the snack business for caffeine addicts.
No, 100%. And it's paying off at the end of the day. At least how I think about it. Right? Even folks like you both, right? You both have the entrepreneurial spirit. You guys have your own radio show. I think it's a good idea for anyone to start their own business, especially if it's something that they love doing. They find joy in it and they have an impact. At least for me, right? And it shows, right? Like I was mentioning, our growth has been astronomical. If I had to put a number on it, it's probably like 5,000%, which is crazy.
Yeah.
We're like I said, in north of about 2,000 stores in 2/3 of the country. And to answer your question about flavors, right? We're starting off with 4, which is what we have on the market. So we have 4 products, 2 flavors. But like I said, one of the things that I kind of notice about the industry is that, at least for me as a customer, right? I'll go into like my local convenience store. I'll go into a retail store, and I see the exact same like 5 or 6 flavors like every single time. Like, honestly, when was the last time we saw like a new like salty snack flavor? Probably like before I was born, more or less.
It is. I mean, they roll out like experimental stuff, but then they pull it off because, I know Lay's does that thing every year where they have like people submit.
But Pringles does it.
Submit
I mean,
flavors.
God, the other day I bought 6 cans of Pringles. One was carnitas. One was Mexican street corn.
What?
Like, what? I had to try it. One was everything baked potato. One was Russian salad.
So you just tried these because they were new, right?
Yeah, it was at Walmart. They were $1.99.
It was not.
And we were going camping.
So it was not original. It was not. It was not cheddar. It was not.
I always buy barbecue, sour cream, and onion. That was if you're going to do one, Phillip, sour cream and onion would be. No, everybody loves sour cream and onion. Anytime I bring sour cream and onion and all the other flavors, it's the first flavor to go. Like,
everybody thinks that their favorite, everybody loves their favorite.
Right. And the reason I buy Pringles is because they come in cans, and we're camping. We're putting them in bags and in boxes and like backpacks.
You don't want them to get crushed.
Things where, you don't want to get smashed. So, but anyways, sour cream and onion.
None of them, I'll guarantee you one thing about those Pringles. None of them had caffeine in them.
No, they didn't. So we gotta catch up with you. Stay in touch with us. Let us know when you launch some more flavors. We'll have you back on to talk about it. And thank you for sending us.
Can you give us a teaser of like a flavor that you have that's going to have caffeine with it that like we should be looking for soon?
I don't want to talk too much about it because shareholders might get mad. But what I can say is this, right? Like at the end of the day, like we're ran by Gen Zers, right? And at least in my opinion, we're a lean team. We move fast. Based off of like the growth numbers that I gave.
Yeah.
Right? But we're also fast. But we're also fast in innovation, right? So, like I said, we have 4 flavors, right? We have 4 products right now, 2 flavors, right? So our goal is to launch a new flavor every month to month and a half to 2 months.
Okay,
that's our goal.
We'll see some new ones. We'll see some new ones very soon.
We'll see some new ones. My goal is to launch a new flavor. So 2 variants, a energy and a charge version, and a less charge version, which we call our crunchy versions, every month and a half to like 2 months. And all that is basically done. We basically have our portfolio mapped out until like Q2 of 2026. So like you said, Jeremy, we have sour cream and onion that's in queue. We have a hot one that's in queue. We have a dill pickle that's in queue. Salt and vinegar that's in queue.
Dill pickle. Yes.
I didn't think you were going to give us all this.
Yes.
You know, and of course, spicy's always seems to be the thing nowadays. Everybody likes something too.
Exactly.
So I was going to just ask you to give us the color of the packaging. But now we know sour cream, dill. There's some fun ones coming.
That's exciting stuff. I love how this spawned from an idea. Like I eat potato chips. And I love caffeine. Why don't I just put the two together and put them in packages and start selling them? And you've gone very far in a year, and it's probably something that'll be talked about, and hopefully be a staple in people like mine and Jeremy's households for years to come.
No, and that's the goal. And that's the goal, Jeff. You hit it spot on, right? We want to be seen, since we're the first to market, we want to be seen as the how the Gen Zers call it, the OG company, the OG company, right? So we want to be the OG company, and we are. Like you were mentioning, Jeff. Right? People are catching on. Within a short span of a couple of months, we won a couple of awards. So we're ranked number 7 by Trend Hunter as one of the most like innovative like snack products in August. We won another award by a convenience store. We won a gold award for their innovative energy product on the market. So we have people that are picking us up. We have other retailers across the country that are picking us up. And I'll say like 2 caveats, right? Our goal at the end of the day is to be one of the largest salty snack companies on the market. So we're starting off with potato chips. I alluded to like a couple of other flavors that we're going to be launching in the near term, but that's only for the potato chip business, right?
Okay, right? You got your eyes on other things. Yeah,
exactly. We're working on it, and it's done. All I have to do is tell my team, like, hey, let's pull the trigger, and that's my job at the end of the day, to make sure that timing is correct. So,
well, I see the CEOs and the executives at PepsiCo right now smacking their heads, going, "Why didn't we think of that?" But yours, I swear, yours tastes so much better. They're so good.
Yeah. When you start publicly trading, make sure you give us a heads up on that. So we can be ready to
I'd like to.
I love it.
I'd like to have the Nancy Pelosi lane on that, if you could.
Eatbangers.com. Well, not too Nancy, because that could get you into trouble. Anyways, great talking to you, Phillip. And thanks for sending your chips. We're going to give those away. If you hear a non-banger, then you need to get on the phones, text, call in, and we'll hook you up with a bag of these delicious caffeinated chips.